And this episode of Juice Guru Radio is brought to you by Try Best, making healthy living easy.
Welcome to Juice Guru Radio. Discover what the magic and power of juicing can do for you. And now, your host, best-selling author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Juice Fasting, Steve Prusak.
Well, hello, welcome to the show. I'm Steve Prusak, and today we've got Ella Majors, 22-year ethical vegan and founder of Sexy Fit Vegan. She's going to show you how to amp up your life, take it to the next level, throw away the ideas that you can't get fit and strong on a plant-based diet. We're going to be back right after this to prove you wrong with Ella Majors.
Juice Guru Radio.
Well, welcome back to the show. I'm Steve Prusak. Couldn't be more excited. We've got Ella Majors. She's got the brand Sexy Fit Vegan, where she's spreading the message on how to get fit, healthy, eating a plant-based diet, and plant strong. She's been in all over in vegan fitness lifestyle coach for 15 years, named Shape Magazine's 50 hottest trainers in America, took first the bikini division at the famed Fitness World Championship, and was named Trainer of the Month on bodybuilding.com, which is huge. She's been featured as a vegan fitness expert in the mainstream media, and she's here on Juice Guru Radio. That's the most important to me. Let's go to the show right now, Ella Masters.
So great to be here, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Well, that's a pretty impressive bio you got going there.
Yeah, I guess so.
So tell us about your journey, because I know for you, you are in amazing shape, but body image was an issue and food was an issue. Take us through the journey of how your food choices changed and how your body image really affected your life.
Yeah, so I'm going to take it way back to start, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping.
Okay, well, I'm taking it way, way back till I was 7 years old, and I came home from school one day. I'm 7, I'm in first grade, and we had learned about Daniel Boone on the radio. Do you know who Daniel Boone is? He's one of our first American folk heroes, right? And he wore the raccoon hat. Yeah.
His name reminds me of Johnny Appleseed for some reason. Like, weren't they friends?
Something like that.
Anybody know?
So he wore that raccoon hat, and he carried around a shotgun, and he killed animals to eat them. And I came home from school, and I said, Mom, we learned about this awful guy today, and he shot animals, and I can't believe it. What a terrible human being, basically. Oh, yeah,
I do remember him.
Yeah, and so my mom was just honest with me, and I thank her for that, because she just said, you know what, Ella, we are very fortunate. Nowadays, we get to go to the grocery store. They didn't have grocery stores back then, so he had to do it himself. And it was at that moment the light bulb went off, and I connected the food on my plate with that animal that it was. And when that happened,
at 7 years old.
At 7 years old, I think, if there are past lives, I was definitely a slaughtered animal. That's all I can figure, because it was just like horrifying to me. And I said to my mom, I'm never eating that again. She thought it was going to be a phase. It was not a phase. I knew, like, right that moment on, that was important to me.
So then your parents had to figure out, okay, what are we going to feed Ella? Because now she doesn't want to eat what we're making her, which I'm sure was probably insulting too.
Well, I've got incredible parents. I have to say, I'm the luckiest human being. They just have always supported me and who I am. And I've always been a very strong-willed individual. I mean, I was like wanting to put on my own diapers, apparently, when I was 2. So they've always kind of fostered that independence in me. And they thought I would, grow out of it. I didn't. And they figured out that wasn't going to happen. So they supported me. They really supported me along the way. And eventually, they've all become vegan since then.
Oh, is that right?
My dad became vegan. My little sister became vegan. My mom was almost vegan. Then she got colon cancer and went vegan. Pretty much the whole family is. And my dog's vegan. So.
Well, you really inspired them. I mean, was it, and I'm sure it wasn't through saying you need to do this or guilting them, was it?
No, and that's how I've always done it. Now, don't get me wrong. When I was 15, when I went vegan, totally vegan. I was vegetarian at 7. I didn't quite get the connection with the dairy and the eggs. But when I was able to do that research and find out the cruelty involved in all the industries, 15 years old, I went vegan when I figured that out. And I made it my mission. I knew at 15 that was what I was meant to do in this world, was help people understand what the consequences of the food they're eating in every way, from where it comes from to what it does to your body. So I knew that from a very early age. And I really went on the route of the animal rights thing during high school. I even won like a award by the farm animal rights movement. Like it was big. And I would sit in cages on the side of the road showing people how, because I thought, Steve, that if only people knew what was going on behind those closed doors of the factory farms, I said, if people only knew, they would surely make a different decision. So since then, I went a different route, but that was my original. That was my thought at that time. And that didn't quite happen like that. So I've gone a different route.
Great. Amazing, inspirational story. So then how did the issue with body image come up? Because if you're eating vegetarian, I know with a lot of dairy, you can be a little overweight, but tell us where that came from.
Well, I was never overweight. I started sports at the age of 5. I was doing gymnastics and swimming and dancing. And when I went to college, I got into the gym. And so then I'm starting to be around people that were really, obsessed with food, and they're eating their chicken and broccoli. And it never crossed my mind that I would ever eat animals again. But I just took that, they're eating a lot of protein. They're eating, no fats. And I was taking that, and I started to get obsessed with what I was eating. And I started to just lose touch with reality, really, when it came to my body. And I developed body dysmorphia, basically, because I was very lean, and I was, counting calories and macros, and everything was about food all the time. I was thinking about food from the time I got up till the time I went to bed. I would restrict, and then binge. I would eat a whole jar of peanut butter. I'm out with this now, but this was embarrassing back then. I wanted to, I didn't want anybody to know. For many, many years, I kept that a secret, and I wanted to be this shining light of what the perfect vegan looked like, because that's how I was helping at that time, was by inspiring people. And people would be like, wow, your body is rocking. I'm like, yeah, I'm vegan, you can do it. But I was obsessed, and it was so anxiety producing, and there was depression involved. It was a rough time, but on the outside, I wanted to hold strong for what I thought was important to represent what a healthy vegan was. Does that make sense?
Because that body dysmorphia is really, it's crazy. You look in the mirror and you see a reflection of what's not even in reality. Oh
my gosh. I look back at pictures now, and it never really goes away, Steve, but you learn the tools to move past it. And, I look at pictures, and I had zero. They could not measure the body fat on me for a period of time. And I would look in the mirror, and I'd see love handles. And I would, and unless I was feeling so hungry, then I felt just fat. And it's almost hard. It's hard to say that, because I know there are people that are overweight that might not get it, because I'm not overweight. So I've never been overweight. But that feeling was still, it really, it was hard. It was a really hard period of my life, and it was a very long period of my life.
Yeah, so anyone, no matter whether they're overweight or not, can go through the same kind of struggle.
Yeah.
So what led to the next thing? So then you decided, you really got into the fitness and redefining veganism, because everyone's always saying you have to be skinny and pasty, and, it's just, jokes on sitcoms even to this day.
Mm-hmm. So true. Yeah. So my first business was personal training. So I ran some gyms and started my own personal training business. And so I was focused on the fitness, not so much because I was so passionate about doing that, but because I didn't know how to create a business out of helping people go vegan, because I didn't feel like enough people were ready. So that was my side thing, was helping people go vegan, and my job was personal training. So again, now everything's about food and your body, and me helping people eat and work out to get lean, to lose fat. And none of that's sustainable, and none of that's very rewarding for me, because I see people working out and I'm telling them, they're doing burpees and they're working their asses off, and I don't have control over what they eat when they go home. And if you're eating crap, I always say you can't outrun your fork, because if you're eating crap, it doesn't matter how hard you work out. You're going to exhaust yourself, and you're not going to get the results that you want, and you're certainly not going to get sustainable results.
I mean, do you have like a real sit down with them to explain to them about nutrition and what the better things to put in your body are?
Yeah, unfortunately at that time, though I was in my 20s, people weren't even ready to, they didn't want to hear about nutrition from me. So, and I was just trying to pay my bills at the time. So I was not fulfilled with that role whatsoever. But I did it, I did it because I love fitness. It is a passion, and I met a lot of great people, and I got to create my own schedule, and I got to, go wherever I wanted, but it wasn't fulfilling.
So how did your brand Sexy Fit Vegan, how did that come to be?
Yeah, so I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago when people started to get more receptive and about the whole vegan thing. And I was really to that point like, okay, I got to make a move because I'm not doing what I am supposed to be doing in this world. Like, I'm spending energy on something that's not my mission in life. And so when I just said, I've had enough, I'm just doing it, and I created the brand Sexy Fit Vegan. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I'm going to create it, and I'm going to build a website, and I'm going to promote it, and I'm going to get myself out there and just do whatever it takes, get my blog, put out content, and start to inspire people on a much bigger level than just locally. And so, yeah, Sexy Fit Vegan came to be because, again, I wanted to bring veganism into the mainstream and show that you can be absolutely sexy and strong and fit and have an incredible life as a vegan. Because back then, especially in Miami, I don't know about elsewhere, but people had so many stereotypes still of, broken style. You had to be either hippie or, a yogi, or you're scrawny, and you couldn't go out to eat and be fun. Like, you couldn't be fun because you can't eat what everyone else is eating when you go out to eat. So I created the brand, and I just went with it. And yeah, I had no business plan. I just went. So I was still personal training full time for several years. But I did, in that time, get a bunch of exposure, and I got the Shape magazine. I don't even know how that came to be. I got, the publishing company asked me to write a book, and I did that. And
right, and that book that's the six pack one.
Yeah, it's called
the 6 weeks to Sexy Abs book. Do you have abs? Do you have a six pack?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to ask you to show it because we're on the radio. But but I want our friends at home to realize, you can get a 6-pack and still be vegan.
Yeah, and you can get a 6-pack and be vegan and not be obsessed with food. Which.
But talking about food, lots of people follow the vegan diet in lots of different ways. There's a whole food vegan diet. There's the McDougall starch diet. There's the raw vegan diet. For you, what has worked when it comes to nutrition and how you've got high energy and you're fit? Mm-hmm. What works for you? Because it's funny. Everyone really varies on this.
It is. And that's one of the things. And now I have a whole coaching program that helps people figure out what that looks like for them, because it is different for everybody. And it is, there's some base knowledge about nutrition we absolutely need to have. But then it does vary as to kind of the macro balance that works for different people's body. You've got the 80-10-10 people who run the best on 80% carbs, and that works fantastic for them. And then for some people that doesn't work well. And so there's just, you can be healthy and still eat a different balance of macros. We all kind of need the same micronutrients. That's important for all of us to get, but you can get that with a different macro balance. Yet everybody's so obsessed with counting macros and how many grams of protein and staying away from carbohydrates like there's this scary monster. And so it's really more about building.
Right. And then there's also the oil, fat, and sugar people too.
Right. And there are people that swear by not having a drop of oil, and that's fantastic for them. I eat olive oil. I enjoy olive oil in my salad, and I use it. And that's a part of the balance that works for me. So I'm happy for somebody who's created a balance without oil, that works in their lifestyle. That's the healthiest way to go. In my opinion, that is the healthiest way to go. But for me, and I like going to Sunday football during football season, and I have Gardein wings, and they're not good for you, Steve. They're not. But, it's not something I do on a regular basis, and it's not something I beat myself up for doing it. So it's about making a conscious choice, about knowing about nutrition enough to make a conscious choice and a mindful choice, but then not beating yourself up if you are part of your balance is having a treat. That's what.
And it's also about the fitness, because a lot of people just aren't moving their bodies. They just think they can eat whatever they want or eat the healthiest they can eat and still not exercise and move their bodies. So let's talk about the importance of exercise and how often you're going to the gym, or if you're working out at home. What is your routine?
So nowadays, I was into Muay Thai for hardcore for a long time. And when I was into Muay Thai and yoga, which I do now, was I had to be this tough person, I think it was back then. So yoga, and also I didn't want to have that stereotype of a vegan doing yoga, I think. So in my 20s, I stayed away from yoga, but then all the Muay Thai that I was doing, and I was lifting pretty heavy for many years. I was lifting heavy and doing hardcore Muay Thai and sparring, and I was beat up. My body was beat up, black and blue all over for years. And I loved it, but my body started to break down, and I was not doing the self-care and the recovery routine that needs to happen for you to have a recovered, healthy body. So I did force myself into yoga, and it took me 8 years, Steve, 8 years to embrace yoga, and now I love it. I love it.
I mean, it's funny. I've been going to the gym a lot. I go to the gym a lot too, and I was doing some yoga poses the other day, and they can be as hard as anything you're doing in the gym.
Oh yeah, and it's fun. Handstands are my thing now, and then you get to have something to work towards, And so now, okay, I got the regular handstand. Let's get a one-arm handstand. There's always something to do, and it's all with your body weight. And then I can go and do handstands in front of, on the beach, and it's just fun. It's fun. It's fun, and there's different types of yoga. So I think some people also have the misconception that all yoga looks the same, and it's boring and it's quiet. Well, the yoga I do, and I know the real, the hardcore yogis will probably yell at me, but I like doing the yoga that we're kind of doing it to hip hop music and rock and roll, and there's still that spiritual aspect.
I haven't even heard of that. What kind? No, what kind of yoga is that? Rock and roll yoga? I don't know if they have it in LA yet.
Well, they have everything in LA.
But is there? It's not Vinyasa flow, or what is there a terminology for that?
Well, the studio I go to, we call it power yoga.
Okay.
So I mean, it would be good for me. I'm admitting it full force here that it would be good for me to do more restorative yoga. But I consider it a step, to be able to do yoga, and I'm doing it 5 days a week. And I've gotten so much more flexible. My body feels so much better. And I still do Muay Thai. I still do kickboxing 3 times a week. I do a fun spin class, and I call that a mood booster more than anything, because doing steady state cardio and even hardcore cardio, you can't outrun your fork. So it's for me, it's more about the mood boosting and getting your body moving and having fun. So that's my clubbing these days, which sounds a little pitiful, but I go to the spin class to be in the club. It's dark, and we got the music and the lights, and it's fun. And that's what I want to encourage people to do, is find things that are fun.
Yeah, and there's also the mindfulness, right? If we look at the branches, it's always the food, the movement, and also how we're feeding our minds. Yeah. The yoga is an opportunity for you to be mindful, but are you finding other ways to develop that part of your humanity?
Well, since I've kind of created, and it's not my own thing, but what I call the self-empowerment coaching system, which is a self-coaching tool and a method that I use, and that is just a part of my way of life now that I teach people, that really has you kind of looking inward, observing what's going on with you, observing your feelings, looking at the thoughts behind those feelings, and really just tuning inward to figure things out for yourself and to grow.
Nice.
And it's so powerful. And now I just feel like every day, I say it all the time, like I'm playing life like a game. That's my mantra, because every day is a new opportunity to grow and to discover and to make a move. And we get the power to make those moves and to not play the victim. And to, that's why I'm so much about empowerment. It's we have the power to do whatever we want to do, to make whatever decisions we want to make. And I just want everybody to be able to embrace that power within themselves.
Yeah, mindset's everything. You clearly have that. I saw a couple of your videos on YouTube, and I have a couple of things I heard I wrote down, and I wanted to know, first of all, you talk about aligning your actions with your values, and I was wondering if you could expand on that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of the foundation of what I would call plant-empowered eating, is what I call it, but it's kind of intuitive eating. And we often just look at making decisions based like on willpower, right? Oh, I'm not supposed to eat that, or that's bad. But how about looking at it as if, what do I care about in life, and what is fulfilling to me, and what is creating a meaningful life for me, and what decisions can I make that support that? Oftentimes we're thinking about, what can I do to get skinnier, to lose weight? And when you sit down and look at your list of what you truly care about in your life, I bet, being a certain number of pounds is not going to make your top of your list. It's going to be your health. It's going to be compassion for animals and making a difference in the world and the people that you love and building relationships. Those are the values. So when we look at those and really start to make decisions based on those, it's not about willpower anymore. It's not about good or bad or rules. It's about making decisions that are going to help you, serve you, make you full of joy, bring you health. And like I say, align your actions with your values. And it just is such a freeing feeling to be able to do that.
And the other thing you were saying was you can't outrun your fork. Now, can you tell our friends what that refers to?
Yeah, well, part of this cycle, the diet mentality cycle, is about burning off calories, and how many calories you've taken in, and then I got to burn that off. So working out becomes, first of all, a chore and a punishment when we're doing it that way. And then it's, for 500 calories that we take in, we're trying to burn 500 calories out. And 500 calories is like, what 2 Snickers bars? I mean, it's almost nothing. And when we're constantly in that state of how many am I coming in, and then how many calories am I burning out, and then it's just this craziness, like that consumes your mind, and you really can't, outrun your fork if you're not eating clean, whole foods, plant-based. You're not going to be healthy, and that's kind of what it comes down to, or else you're going to be in this cycle.
When you look back, did you feel better when you went from vegetarian to cutting out the dairy and the eggs?
Oh, geez, I don't even remember. I was 15, but...
Oh, that's right.
But and I didn't even... that wasn't the concept back then. The body image stuff came in my 20s, and I felt like crap for a long time. Do you know what really helped me? And this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I was at the Holistic Holiday at Sea Cruise a couple years ago, and I don't know if it was Dr. Clapper who came on and talked about chewing your food to a paste. And I swear, I had digestive problems before that. Literally, that's all it took for me to start eating mindfully, chewing my food to a paste, and all my bloating and digestion issues went away.
Oh, that's a great...
It changed my life.
Advice. Because people don't chew their food.
No, and if you're listening and you start to be conscious of that, you're going to see, we scarf it down, and our digestion starts in our mouth, in our saliva. And so that's part of the digestive process. And when we're skipping out on that, it really has a big negative effect on our digestion.
Right. And we give you the tools here at Juice Guru on getting the juice in your body, getting that nutrition in, but you've got to really chew your food. It's got to absorb into your body. We're not going to get any benefit from our food.
That's right. Juicing makes it easy because you don't have to chew. But when it comes to just chewing in general, that's that was kind of off topic, but no, I swear to you, it made a big difference.
I feel like it is on topic. And also, juicing leads us to want more of these plant foods. That's the biggest thing about it.
Oh, absolutely. And changing your palate. And I guess it was about a year ago, I think. I'm 38. I'm not afraid of that. 37 years, basically, I went and I really craved sweets at night, right? And I think that's common for a lot of people. After dinner, you want something sweet. And I was tired of being ruled by that. And I tried to kind of moderate it out a while. And for some reason, I just made that choice. I think it was in line with this, the new way I was eating and the mindfulness and making choices not based on rules, but on my values. And when I I lost my train of thought.
Well, you were talking about the sweet. We all crave sweet. We have that meal.
Yes. So I cut it out for, I think it was only 6 weeks, and I haven't craved. I don't even like sugar anymore. It's insane. Like, I literally don't want anything sweet.
Well, thank you for teasing my Sugar Busters program.
Sorry.
It's coming soon, so we didn't even plan that. I appreciate you plugging what we're about to put out, our 6-week Sugar Busters program. If you guys are interested, we'll have more about that in the community. But on to you.
Yes, I had no idea.
It does make a big deal, and a lot of us just, even if it's agave nectar or coconut sugar, like, we think we're getting good sugar, and it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, no, and it is part of that craving and that the changing your palate. And now fruit is plenty sweet, and it literally doesn't taste good anymore. So it's not.
So it was cutting the sugar, and then your palate changed, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
How long was it?
I think it was about 6 weeks.
Yeah, and that's how long our program is.
Really?
So, yeah, for those interested, go to Juice Guru community. If you're listening on the radio, it's juicegurutribe.com, and you can be part of the community here when Sugar Busters is being launched this month, right here in June 2018. Ella, but we'd like to hear more about you. Where's the best way for our listeners to get in touch with you and the work you're doing and your fitness programs?
Yeah, so pretty much everything's Sexy Fit Vegan. So, sexyfitvegan.com. We've got social media, Sexy Fit Vegan. I've got a great masterclass that's completely free that talks about these mindset shifts, and that's sexyfitvegan.com/masterclass. And that's totally free. It's a really powerful class that I encourage everybody to check out.
And it's a great name, Sexy Fit Vegan. It's like, who doesn't want that? Before we close out here on iHeartRadio, can you share some advice for those? We've got our community here of people that are eating, standard American diet pretty much, drinking some juices, some green smoothies, trying to get healthier. What if they want to take the leap and transition to this? What is some of your advice for those that say, all right, I'm going to give this a try?
Well, I recommend sitting down and making a list of your top 5 values in your life that will show you what's going to help you feel fulfilled, what you care about. And then look at what decisions that you're going to start making that are in line with those. And if that means, you're trying to get healthy, then you're going to start making those different decisions. And it doesn't have to be overnight. And it is about changing your palate and changing your gut, your microbiome. That changes everything changes. So making the transition slow is totally fine. You've been eating one way your whole life. You're not expected to change over tomorrow. And don't even worry about saying, I could never go all the way vegan. Don't worry about that. Just start making the steps and see where it takes you. Oftentimes you start feeling so much better that you just want to keep taking steps until you get there.
And you can also make a list of your top 5 favorite foods and know that you could veganize them. Because, right, most dishes can be veganized at this point. There's so
Absolutely.
many, Beyond Meat and all those different things.
Yeah, and use them as transition foods. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be whole foods all the time. Make those transition steps. If it's Beyond Meat to get away from the chicken, fantastic. Go there, and then you can start incorporating more legumes for your protein. Ella
Majors, sexyfitvegan.com. That's where to find her. It's Ella Majors, and find out all about her there. We'd highly recommend it. Amazing work. Ella, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Steve. It's been a great time.
Thank you. I'm Steve Prusek, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Juice Guru Radio. Find out more about us at juiceguru.com. Until next time, get your juice on.